Hey everybody, Hippie here, and welcome back to another one of my DRG guide videos. Today we're going to be focusing on the melee driller. If you haven't attempted to use melee driller yet, you should really try it out. This playstyle and build allows you to use the entirety of the driller kit to its fullest potential, and maybe not make you rely on your crowd cannon as much. From time to time I switch it up so I can do this melee build, and after I come back to my normal driller playstyle, I can notice that I do use my drills a lot more, I'll use my pickaxe a lot more. And it's just good to use your entire kit when you're playing as the driller. It makes me, after using the melee driller a lot, I've been using Vampire as a perk for the driller, always. Vampire goes really with the driller kit because he'll be in close proximity to enemies often, so you'll be using your pickaxes, and if you want to, your drills, and also, if you didn't know, your impact axes also are affected by Vampire. The effects of this also stack, so multiple kills with melee weapons will give you more than 5 health each time. It's not just you killed one, so there's a cooldown. Even if you kill 3 runs at a time, you'll get all 15 of that health. So it really is a good thing to use in crowd. So normally I do perks last, but with the melee driller, it's kind of the whole thing is the perks. So we'll discuss the perks, then we'll discuss how you build around using these perks. So as I've already discussed, you want to use Vampire with the melee driller, as you're going to be in melee often, so you're going to get lots of procs of Vampire, allowing you to take on waves with just your drills if you really wanted to, and you can still come out ahead or even at the same, health value that you would have prior, without wasting any ammo. That's one of the upsides to melee driller, is that once you get used to this playstyle, you'll save a lot of ammo for when you just really need it, not just you'll be using it all the time just because you can. So we already know we're going with Vampire. The second perk I like to generally go as a melee driller is Thorns. Since you know you're going to be in melee range often, you might as well use Thorns, in my opinion, because you're going to get hit by things that you don't see, and this helps you to kill the things that are behind you or swarmers. Normally you don't need this as a driller, but I think as melee driller you're intentionally putting yourself in harm's way more often, and you're not going to always get to take advantage of Vampire, so you might as well hurt some of the things or kill some of the things around you that are attacking. For your third perk slot, there's a variety of options you could take. You could take Deep Pockets like I normally do, just because I'm too lazy to keep going back and forth between nodes, and I really hate wasting my time like that. You could go things like Veteran Depositor, that's normally a good one. If you can somehow work the 30% damage reduction into your playstyle by calling Molly in close to you and engaging around Molly, then you could make this build be very powerful. With 30% damage reduction, nothing's killing you close up. It's just not going to happen. You could also pair it with Sweet Tooth. The 30% healing gain from consuming red sugar is always nice, and the move speed bonus is okay too. But more health can always help, just in case you think you need it. Second Wind is also always a viable choice. It's just a generally good one. Depending on what mission you're running, if you're doing this on a Magma Core mission, then Elemental Insulation is always a good choice. But that is also a good choice on the Frozen one, if you also want to run it there. I think it has some effectiveness on other maps, but it's an okay one to run. It's just not that big of a deal. And then Resupplier is always good, along with Unstoppable. Resupplier is in the same vein as Veteran Depositor, as in it's just good for you, and the extra health that you'll gain is always good. It also really pairs well with Iron Will. So if you're getting Iron Will, often what you want to do is, if you were to die and somebody has resupplied near you, then you'll revive yourself and go to the resupply and save yourself. So if you have a quicker time of doing this, then you can accomplish more after that. So that's always good. But for my choice, I'm gonna go with Thorns, Vampire, and Deep Pockets most of the time. This allows me to still help the team with minerals and stuff, but I'm playing a little differently than normally. The active perk is where it gets a little bit different for some people. I know some people prefer to go Berserker, and while I think it is good, I think you're more likely to mess up and use that randomly, and then it is on a 4-minute cooldown. So I would find, since I run the lower cooldown power attack, I would often accidentally use it, and then I'd have a cooldown for my Berserker. So then I wouldn't even get to use it when I really wanted to. I tried even pairing Berserker with my next choice, which is See You in Hell, and tried to attempt a build like that where I went full melee, but I couldn't get the Berserker to work too often because I would just use it unintentionally. When I did get to work it and the two worked in tandem, then I was doing lots of damage and it was really good. I could get, nothing could kill me because I could just res entire hordes and I would just constantly be power attacking through all of them. So it can work. If you can pull off not messing that up, if you are very stingy with your power attacks maybe, then Berserker can be good, and you could even pair it with See You in Hell to go all the way in with the melee build. Personally, I go with Iron Will just always, and even more so with Melee Driller, because you're more likely, you're gonna die. If you're not playing very, very well, you're probably gonna die. There's gonna be a lot of things that are gonna kill you, and it's just how it is. You're putting yourself intentionally in harm's way to, you know, use your drills, use your pickaxe, you know, use your axes effectively. You're just probably gonna die. So Iron Will is always good, just in case. So the other ones you could always run a Field Medic, Dash, Beastmaster, Shield Link, Hover Boots. Hell, you could run Heinz. You could really run anything else, but I know generally I think Iron Will is just always the best. That's just me personally. The other option would be See You in Hell. If you don't know exactly what See You in Hell does, it's right after an enemy hits you with a melee attack, you get a temporary melee damage bonus. It's really nice if you're using animation cancels in your pickaxe as well. You're getting more DPS off of doing animation cancels. So it's always good to try to animation cancel in this game, because you'll never know like what random benefits will come to your way. So this also works with your drills, and I'm pretty sure your drills have kind of like an AoE in front of them. So it doesn't hit just directly in front of where the drill shows. It kind of hits an area in front, so directly in front of you, and then the grunts and stuff to their side could get hit by this slightly, depending on how you do it. You'll see the effect more when you're drilling after like Macteras that are in the sky, or the little shocky guys that are going everywhere. You'll see you hit an entire group of them when you're using your drills, so it doesn't hit just directly in front of them. So it works whenever you're getting this buff from See You in Hell. You're going to hit entire waves with this increased damage boost, and it's going to just destroy them, and that's going to give you health back, which keeps you alive to take on the Horde even more. The other thing that goes along with the Iron Will potentially is the active is that 3 times each mission you can trigger a large neuropulse explosion after you go down, and then a residual effect will electrocute and scare off enemies. So you use this after you go down, which is pretty likely. If you're just trying this build for the first time and you're really going at the melee portion of this, then you're probably gonna go down. Probably gonna go down, but that's okay. I mean, you got your teammates. If you're doing this by yourself, you got Bosco. Just prep Bosco for having the highest amount of reses. This isn't a great solo build, but it works. I do this on Has 5 and it works. I run this in EDDs and it works. This build is just good. It's a normal driller build, essentially, like in my other videos, the tuned cooler, but you're going melee heavy as your main objective. So now that we're at the build portion of the video, let's talk about the choice between the cryo cannon and the flamethrower. Personally, I think that the tuned cooler build that I displayed in my other video, I'll put a link up there, is the preferable build for melee driller. The reason being is that the freeze allows you to use your melee most effectively, more than the burning effect of the flamethrower does. However, either builds could work, and by either build I mean a sticky flame centered build could also work for the melee driller, as long as you're very effectively using the sticky flame build and then attacking the bugs in your sticky flames. It'll be hard. They won't be able to kill you, so it can work. It can totally work. So if you wanted to do flames because you don't have a tuned cooler, well, there's also flow rate expansion. You could use improved thermal efficiency. You could also use Ice Spear if you really wanted to. It also works. As long as you have something that has high freezing power. Personally, I think it's not a great OC at all, but Snowball could potentially be a fine build if you're wanting to try out some interesting driller builds. A Snowball melee driller build could work. Shooting the Snowball into groups and then just killing them is just like what you're normally doing anyways, so it could work. Totally work. I wouldn't suggest running Ice Storm with melee driller because it just seems pointless. You're going to be killing things with your cryo cannon so quickly that you won't be able to effectively use the drills or anything like that. If you're just running those perks because you think those are the best perks and you don't really care about melee driller per se, then Ice Storm of course still works with all these things together. If you're running a melee driller build, in my view, you're trying to freeze the enemies and then you're taking advantage of them frozen, or you're trying to take advantage of sticky flames and then killing them in your flames. Then you can just use your normal pistols like the EPC. You can use your magnetic cooling unit mining builds, which also works with energy rerouting as well. You could use those. You could use any build that you want with your sidearm. Tranquilizer darts on the Subatok could work pretty well because it works similarly to your cryo cannon. So you just go in there after they're stunned and kill them. It's easy that way. It works. So that's something you want to try out, and that totally works too. I used to run tranquilizer rounds for a while, and it totally worked. For the pickaxe attack, I normally run the cooldown reduction, and that's what I'm going to do with this build as well. The weapon build is identical to my tuned cooler build. So if you already know all that stuff, then nothing is different besides the fact that I run the damage mod. I go all ones on the drill. You could do bloody cold drills in the driller tree to drill. Your drill will cool when drilling enemies. I just think it's not that good. You're gonna take advantage of your pickaxe a lot, I think, too. So you don't really have to worry about that as much. But really, if you notice you're about to overheat, you should just switch to your pickaxe and start slapping away at it. And if you get the animation cancel down, which is just as the animation hits something, you let go of the mouse, which will cause the animation to end it, and it'll allow you to hit it again. So you're getting slightly more attacks out that way. With See You in Hell, that is a slight advantage. It is a slight DPS increase, so I mean, it's gonna make you get good, I guess. And then if you take advantage of power attacks you're gonna have more often through your cooldown reduction, then you don't really need to rely on this. I would take the fuel over that. Thanks for watching my melee driller video, and I really appreciate you guys sticking around and watching, because I think it's gonna be a little bit of a shorter video, but thanks for watching this one. I know this is not that much different than my other video, but this is just a different build play style, and this just will help you figure out how to do this. Maybe some people don't know about the melee driller, so this will open up your eyes maybe and try something out. Are there any other like weird off meta builds that you guys play? If so, just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.